make sure that I'm in fact correct, and we'll be able to hear you.
Should be able to.
Yeah, I don't think we had to do anything other than just go into Discord, but I'm gonna go silent for a bit, and you just say things.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Oh, look at that. I just got a Twitch notification that my good friend Dave is streaming about building a deck. While he checks out the technical aspects of said stream to make sure that I can be heard. You know, as much as Dave likes to, be the most heard, I do think that he wants me to contribute.
We're good.
Perfect.
First thing I opened up, I heard your voice, so we're very good. Hi, everybody. Ian and Dave are back with another deck build. Thank you, Ian, for sharing your knowledge of the game that we both love to play with me.
Oh, yeah.
While we do another deck build where I'm building a deck because I'm addicted to deck building, and I consult Ian because he's got all the knowledge that I don't have. On my screen right now, you see the monster. Well, not really monster, but creature, in the words of Magic, that we are building. It's Volo Guide to Monsters. Both Ian and I are D&D players. He played Magic first, and I played D&D first. And then when I also came into Magic, the D&D crossover set was the set. So, like, it was a natural gateway for me. And D&D players will know Volo Guide to Monsters is one of the one of the extra books. I'm just over here trying to flex my English and journalism degrees, trying to think what's the right fancy word I want when I can just say it's a book. It's one of the books. So Volo is the wizard, and he wrote a guide to monsters. So Volo Guide to Monsters. Volo Guide to Monsters is 2 and a green blue. That's Simic colors for you Magic unnerds like me that are just learning all this shit still. Legendary creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, copy that spell. So if you play a unique monster, you get 2 of them every time, and so it's like the opposite of what in Magic is called a tribal deck, where usually all your creatures are the same type of creature. So this is the anti-tribal deck, and I'm going to lean hard into this bit. For those that don't know, Commander is a 100-card deck, so you could do a couple duplicates. Odds are you won't have them come up in the same... No, we're not doing that. We are having 1 creature for each type. Obviously, there's more creature types than we could fit into a deck, but we are having no overlap. So, just in Volo alone, we're having no more humans and no more wizards, because I want to lean hard into the bit, and I like to do what the commander wants the deck to do. I like to lean hard into whatever the commander's doing, because that's just the way I like to build. Which is what... Go.
I always enjoy leaning hard into a bit, which is why I was going to bring up the thought. And I don't know how possible it is going to be to do this, considering there's like 260 some creature types in Magic.
Ooh.
They don't all appear in green and blue. Is when I hear Guide to Monsters, my thought process is, okay, the entire deck is literally about nothing but monsters.
Ooh.
So do you make the entire deck nothing but creatures?
Oh, nothing but creatures. Oh.
No spells, no enchantments. I mean, artifact creatures, but they have to be creatures.
Shoot. I wasn't going to do that, but like, now that I feel like a challenge has been laid down, that maybe we should. Maybe we should try. Oh, that's going to be hard. That's going to be interesting. We'll see how far we go. And then, because you know me, I love my veggies. Only in Magic. Anybody that knows me in real life knows I don't fucking eat my vegetables. And veggie cards in Magic are your cards that really help you play the game. You know, your draw spells, your removal spells. It's just the simple spells with simple effects that are absolutely necessary to having a deck function. For example, a green spell called Harmonize. It's just 4 mana, draw 3 cards. Simple, but effective.
Yep.
And you need those veggies. But you know what? Yeah, it was actually I don't know if I was going to do it, but I was intrigued by this idea, by the red green card. That's some. You'll know the name before I can find it, but it's someone of the old ways.
Nikia of the old ways.
Yeah, I'm going to bring her up on screen right now.
Whenever I see her, I just think some like old person be like, I remember the old ways.
Right. This is the old man yells at a cloud magic deck. Nikia of the old ways. You can't cast non-creature spells. Obviously.
My day, we didn't have them stupid non-creatures.
Yeah, and then it gets you with a little added bonus of whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type the land produced. So all your lands tap for double mana to get out all those big creatures. But I saw this card and I was intrigued about trying to do an entire creature deck with it. But most people would... I mean, obviously most decks built with this person would be mostly creatures, but you could also throw in your non-creatures because you can play them before Nikia hits the field to set yourself up. But once Nikia is on the field, you can't do that anymore. But so I was intrigued about doing an entire creature deck of that one, but then I decided to go with a different Gruul deck. Gruul is red-green colors. But now that we've put this challenge onto the public, I think we should try to see how far we can go with it. I think we should try.
I don't see any harm in trying to
Yeah.
do it. We might get to the point where it's like, okay, we have to choose one bit over the other.
Right.
Do we go no only creatures, or do we go only like no 2 creature types repeat?
I would, if we get to the point where we decide like we can't get enough of necessary effects on creatures, my vote would be the no 2 creature types double up. Because he is also a wizard. Like, Volo is a wizard, so he's got some tricks. But, like, I get, because the card is called Volo's Guide to Monsters, because he wrote a book called Guide to Monsters, so this is his guidebook to monsters, since, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong, but somebody explained Magic to me that you, the player, are basically like a wizard, and your deck is like a spell book. So if I'm playing Volo's Guides to Monsters, my spellbook should just be nothing but monsters, nothing but creatures.
Yeah, so the original concept for the game is that you and your opponent are both planeswalkers. And then your deck is all the spells you cast in your planeswalker duel.
Okay, so I'm not far off.
Yeah, pretty much. You're pretty much right there. Let's see.
All right. Well, I say we try it. We see how far we can get with it.
Yep, I think some of the toughest ones you do, so like looking at my creature type list that I found online, which goes up to Dominaria United, so it's not completely up to date.
All right.
But pretty close. So the most common creature type is human, with over 3,000 cards.
Right, which we can ignore that. Volo's human. And we can ignore wizard.
Yep, which is the second most common type at 938.
Wait, seriously?
Yep, more wizards than anything else.
More wizards than elves?
Yep.
Wow.
In fact, elves don't make the top 5.
What?
You gotta remember, race.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
human is the most common.
And then there's a top of human wizards.
3 are all classes.
Because they're human this, human that, human this, human that.
Yep, exactly.
So it's probably like wizard, knight, soldier. All the dumb shit humans are.
Soldier is in the top 5. Soldier 782. Just ahead of that though is warrior.
Oh yeah, warrior. There's a ton of warriors.
Most of them packed into
Red.
But green is number 2, and then with 297.
Okay. Well, as I was saying before, so if we're gonna do all creatures, that means I'm definitely gonna throw in some pets. Actually, one pet that is a really unobjectively bad card, but when Mike was making me a Magic deck, and I literally just was on Scryfall searching by cards that cost a penny. I found the Almighty Brush Rag, and I was like, "Look at this! Look at this ugly mother! This guy needs to be in my deck."
Because if I remember correctly, he is a bushwag is his type.
Brush Rag is his creature type. There's a Brush Rag that is Summon Brush Rag, and then there's the Almighty Brush Wag, which is a Brush Rag.
There's 3 brushwags.
Oh, really? What's the third one?
So let's see. Oh, okay. Apparently there's only, I'm going to double check, but he listed 3 in his list, but it looks like there might only be 2.
Yeah, there's only 2 that I see. So we have one that is 3 mana. If Bushwhack blocks or is blocked, it gets +2, -2, +2 until end of turn. And then there's the Almighty Bushwhack that has trample. He's one mana, 1/1, has trample, and then for 4 mana you can give him +3/+3 until end of turn. Like, it's unobjectively a bad card, but
I mean, in the right deck, it could definitely be good. In fact, I think I run the Almighty Brushwag in my Mince deck because that deck is all about pumping creatures bigger. So
yeah.
one with trample is pretty useful in that deck. But yeah, I think if we're gonna go for all creature types, I think the Almighty Brushwag is an auto include just because.
Because of how much I love that little fucker.
Up 1 creature. Yeah, and he only takes up one of our creature types.
Okay, so I guess the next important question is, if we're going to try to do all creatures, how many lands should we have?
That's the question, and we're also going to have to find utility creatures that
yeah.
kind of fit two holes there.
Yeah, we need dorks. Speaking of dorks, I know one that is going to be a good one for us, and it's definitely going to be the only of this creature type that I'm going to take. It's Thopter, but I always think it's Thropter. The Ornithopter of Paradise.
Yes, that would be a good one.
Oh yeah, because I don't imagine wanting to pick another Thopter. Plus, we need mana dorks, and this is a mana dork that can double up.
Yep. So we already have a human, we already have a wizard. I'm wondering if we want to start from the least common creature types and work our way to the more common ones, or do we start with like the warrior?
I think we should start with cards that have. And this is where I'm going to tap into your knowledge and some of mine, because I've been playing the game a bit. I think we should start with cards whose effects are going to be really good, so we're going to want them in the deck. And then if we have to make decisions on like which one do we keep, which one do we don't, then we can talk about it like right off the bat. Because right off the bat, I'm thinking about my elf slot, and I'm thinking about Reclamation Sage versus the card draw elf. Beast Whisperer? Why? It's such a common.
Like whenever a beast comes into play, draw a card. But let's see.
Elf Druid, draw a card, 4 mana anytime a creature comes in the field. And I'm just sitting here blanking on his name. Such a common card. But I know everything else on his fucking card except for his name. Of course, right when I'm live on stream. And any Magic player who would be watching this would be like, how did you forget this one's name?
Well, again, I'm blanking out. What'd you say it is?
4 mana, Elf Druid, anytime you cast a creature, draw a card.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, which one is that?
Alright, let me just look on Volo's deck list. That's definitely going to be on his average deck list. Yeah, I was right. Beast Whisperer.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. All right. I think that one should take up the elf and the druid slot. But if you want, we could look up. There's a million elves, but most elves care about other elves. This elf doesn't, which is helpful for us. Because I think, just off the top of my head, I think it's like for the elf slot, it's down to like Rex Sage and Beast Whisperer. And I lean towards Beast Whisperer because card draw. Like, okay, I get.
Especially if we're going to load this deck with nothing but creatures, that means every time you cast a spell, you will draw a card.
Yeah.
Every
I will draw 2 cards because I'll have a copy of Beast Whisperer.
Yeah. So, I mean, I objectively, I think that's probably going to be your best card.
It's definitely where I'm going to get the most value.
Yeah, because the thing too is we need the cast cards. So like something like a Elvish Viper doesn't really help us.
True.
Most of the green blue.
Yeah, because we need. Yeah, this isn't. Because Volo makes a copy of the spell while we're casting it, which is important to note for any cards that are like, whenever you create a token, create 2 of those tokens. Well, actually, we're not creating tokens. It's sounds like we are, but we're technically not. We're making a copy of a spell, and then the copy is a token. I know magic is magic.
Yeah, you create the copy, you don't cast it. So we're only actually, so essentially we'll get 2 triggers because we have the 2 Beast Whisperers, but
Yeah.
we don't need to actually, it's not like we're going to get 4.
Right. All right, so that takes
Beast Whisperer is almost certainly our elf and druid slot. Which
Yep.
Druid's pretty high up on the list too. There's 172 druids.
I'm sure there's a lot of good druids, but I'm currently okay with missing it.
Yeah, I can just card draw every single time you cast. Yeah, every time you cast a spell in this deck.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's something we're gonna outdo that with.
No, I don't think so either.
Alright, so that takes your elf, which elf is the 9th most common creature type.
Wow, I never would have thought it would have been that low.
And then druids of 12, 15 is the 18th most common creature type.
Alright, I think
Top goes human, wizard, warrior, soldier, spirit, zombie, cleric, elemental, elf.
Alright, what do you think about Spike Weaver? That's that spike I was telling you about before we went live. I'll read you the card. Comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Pay 2, remove a +1/+1 counter from Spike Weaver, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 1, remove a counter from Spike. Creatures deal no combat damage this turn. So it's
Or fog effect.
fog. It's fog on a stick that we'll get a copy of.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at all the different spikes, which looks like they are all just creature type spike.
Sweet. As long as they don't get eroded into insect, we're good.
Yeah, spike drop goes play with +1/+1 counter. Let's gain 2 life.
It is $5, so it'll end up being one of my most expensive cards in the deck, most likely. But fog on 2 sticks sounds decent, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's a spike that creates spikes, but again, I don't think that's really better
than the fog spike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say Spike Weaver's probably the go-to there.
All right, you know what? Let's do it. Just because, like, I think that'll get a cool reaction from the table, like playing this deck, and it's like, oh, I'm playing a spike. Oh, a spike! I haven't heard about a creature spike in forever.
So it comes in play with 3 +1/+1 counters, and
Yeah.
so it gives you 3 fogs.
Yeah.
2 copies of it gives you 6.
6 fogs on the battlefield. Like, that's sick.
Yeah.
I think that's worth the $4.20 or whatever it is.
Spike's gotta be pretty low.
Yeah. Especially if we're gonna try to do no non-creature spells in the entire deck. Like we need as many utility effects on creatures as we can get.
So there's 11 spikes according to Scribeball.
Total or in our colors?
In our colors.
Okay.
There might be like black spikes or whatever.
Yeah. My conundrum that I've been having about this deck is, and I think it's risky, but it's another pack card, and it's especially riskier now that we are doing this. So it's Volo's Guides to Monsters. What's my favorite D&D creature?
Owlbear.
An owlbear. I want the owlbear in this D&D deck.
Yeah, but is the loss of the what creature type is the owlbear?
It's bear bird. So I'm not. Yeah. I looked at the bears. I would be okay with losing the bears because most of them are vanilla. Then there's the ones that care about other bears, and then there's one that has island walk, which is kind of cool to have 2 island walking bears. But so like, would probably is objectionably that would be more useful than the owl bear. But it's the birds that are kind of a bigger hit, especially if I wanted to upgrade this deck and I liked it. Birds of Paradise, a desperately needed mana dork. That's a bird.
We'll have to go along and see how many dorks we end up with. But
Yeah.
a lot of those dorks are gonna be druids.
Yeah.
And we've already taken.
And elves. There is. There was. Hold on. I think there's a centaur dork. I think I'm trying to remember if it was in the video or if I took a screenshot of it. Ooh, it's not a dork, but it will help in that. Oh, hi Mason. It's Monday. I stream on Mondays. I know you're working. I hate it. I hate that you work on Mondays, but it's Monday. I stream on Mondays. I know. You know, you're probably going to yell at me for doing this stream on Monday instead of doing the boring stream that you don't care about, Mile Zero, but I'm probably not going to finish Mile Zero on stream if my target audience doesn't even want to watch the game. I'll probably just stream something else and then finish Mile Zero on my own.
Yeah, it's like I have the PS4 up and running now, and so I started playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, I wonder if I can stream that.
You should stream that. That's been on my stream list for a while.
Yeah, that might be what I do. Cause I mean, most of my other games haven't really grabbed a lot of traction. Not that I haven't done.
Not consistently. I know. I'm trying to get better. I'm going back to being consistent about streaming on Monday and Wednesday. Sorry, Mason. I'm sorry.
There is a card that is the creature type Spawn.
Alright, hold on. I gotta fix your audio.
Yep.
Which means I gotta change this audio. No, that's not what I wanted. Turn this down. Alright, so stuff coming from my computer should now be louder while I turn down the music itself. So hopefully, let's go ahead and talk, Ian.
Okay. Hopefully that worked better.
It looks like, on my end, it looks like your audio levels are good.
Start running through my little list here. Try to find some useful creatures. Because, I mean, if we're going to stick to the bit, we're going to end up with some objectively bad creatures.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we started with one.
But hey, I found another mana dork for you that's not a druid.
Yes, lay it on me. What do we got?
Look up a card called Bronze Walrus.
Bronze Walrus. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of artifact creatures, I just put on Solemn Simulacrum, aka the Sad Robot, because I don't imagine picking a different golem than one that draws me a card when it dies and then lets me get a basic land into play.
Seems
Bronze Walrus. Smidge louder might be better. Okay. Smidge. There's Benefit Scry 2. Add 1 mana and a color. Creature type Walrus. Perfect. I can't imagine picking another Walrus. How many Walruses are there? Let me look.
That's the only one.
I'm so glad they did Creature type Walrus just for that guy. Perfect. Oh, what a perfect card for this. So Mason, to recap, we're building a deck called Volo's Guide to Monsters, which is he's a character from D&D, and he wrote a book that was his guide to monsters. It's a D&D book you can buy that has a whole bunch of extra creatures. It's really cool. The magic card, he wants you to have... He'll make a copy of each creature you play as long as you don't already have a creature in your graveyard or battlefield that shares a creature type. Oh, you remember this guy. Okay, cool. But what you missed was Ian put forth right when we started the stream that, hey, why don't we lean into this bit even harder? Since it's Volo's Guide to Monsters, he wrote a guide to monsters that's all about monsters. Why don't we try to make this entire deck nothing but unique creatures? So we're gonna see if we can pull it off.
Oh, sad face. I was looking up the rare creature types, and one was Reflection, which I was hoping would be a candidate, but it's a transform card. So only the transform side is a Reflection, not the initial cast side.
Oh.
It would also be particularly bad because at the beginning of your upkeep, if each player has 10 or less life, transform Cryptolith Fragment.
Okay, I found the Manadoric Centaur, but it's not great, and it also won't work.
As a druid?
Yeah.
Figured.
God, Manadorics are going to be hard to get. I might have to... This might be the first deck I get a Birds of Paradise just because of how hard we're leaning into this bit.
Alright, another card for you to look at is... this one's bad. But I'll have you look it up anyways. Elder Spawn.
I want it.
You probably don't. It's a very bad card.
I love bad cards. Jesus Christ. Okay, Elder Spawn cannot be blocked by red creatures. Sacrifice one of your islands to your upkeep. Oh, no thank you.
I told you wouldn't want to play it.
It's expensive too.
Yeah, if you don't, you destroy it and deals 6 damage to you, and its only other thing is it can't be blocked by red creatures.
And it costs $21.99 on Card Kingdom.
Ooh, this is a pet. Here's a pet card of mine that could definitely go into the deck.
Lay it on me.
The Giant Oyster.
Creature type Oyster?
Yep. It is the one and only Oyster in Magic.
You may choose not to untap dino as long as it remains tapped. Target tapped creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. At the beginning of each of your draw steps, put a -1 counter on that creature. When Giant Oyster leaves play or becomes untapped, remove a... Wow. Tap something down and then slowly kill it?
Yep. I mean, it could take a long time to kill it, but, I mean... The thing's going to get weaker and weaker.
Still, that's pseudo removal, which, I mean, we're not running removal spells, so any form of removal creature.
Also, it stuns the creature, too. As long as Giant Oyster remains tapped, target tapped creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. In the beginning of each draw steps, put a -1 counter.
Oh, each draw step, not even just your own.
Oh, sorry, each of your draw steps.
Okay, each of...
Yeah. So essentially, you can only target a tapped creature with it. But again, if we can even have a couple things that will tap everything down, or even just the act of attacking, you can tap the thing, it won't untap, and then eventually dies.
Beautiful. Okay, so I just remembered.
It's a card I actually like. It's just a weird card.
Are you still talking about the oyster? Sorry, I answered a text from Crystal.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so I just remembered another mana dork option for us. There is a sliver that's green that gives sliver creatures you control can tap for mana of a color. Because I know there's one that gives all slivers can do that, but then there's also one sliver that just does it to slivers you control, so it won't help Mike.
Break the game.
Yeah. I just don't remember which sliver that is.
You'll have to look it up in a sec here.
I didn't see it. I saw the one that was all slivers.
Ooh.
Yeah, Gemhide Sliver is the one that's all slivers, but where's the one that's... where's the other one that's just you control? Ah, there it is. Mana Whiffed Sliver. So, there we go. I'm a sliver player now, guys.
Just have your one dork. That's the thing.
Speaking of creature types that Mike likes that I hate, I think we should probably put an Eldrazi that like makes Eldrazi spawn or something, because that would be another way to have mana dorks. I know we're jumping all over the place, but we got two people building the deck here. We're gonna jump all over the place. That's what we do.
Oh, for sure.
Fuck, I don't want to sift through 151 Eldrazi. Never mind. I ain't doing that shit.
Ooh.
Alright.
Kangaroo card? Oh, no, it's not on card.
I
I saw there was a mammoth card and I got excited, but it's not uncard, but it's not legal.
Speaking of Pachyderms, I'm putting on the Loyal Guardian because I already pre-scouted rhinos, and there's not a rhino I would rather have more than the Loyal Guardian.
What does he do?
That's the one that is trample and then lieutenant at the beginning of your combat step. If you control your commander, pull a +1/+1 counter on all creatures.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, ideally.
Apparently, there's a creature with the island type. I wonder what the heck that is.
Damn, the Slippery Bogbonder is a human druid. Damn. Ooh, okay. I know a card that I wasn't gonna put in, but we have to put it in now that we're going all creatures because it may be 5 mana, but it's a counter spell. Voracious Great Shark. When it enters the battlefield, counter target artifact or creature spell. So it's not even it's a halfway useful counter spell, but it is the only. I did pre-scout sharks, and they really were underwhelming, so this would be fine.
Oh, I bet. Bronze Sable is a card that you could potentially throw in.
Bronze Sable, what do we got?
It's pretty,
I think I have this
pretty
card.
lackluster. Yeah, it's a 2/1 for 2.
Oh,
That's it.
that's it. I'll throw that on the maybe board. Alright, let's look at Wolverines. Because if we're doing all creatures, we might as well... Oh, there's only 4 green Wolverines. Alright. Oh, never mind. One of them is Wolverine Riders, which is an elf warrior. So there's 3 green Wolverines. Well, I have to have one because I'm a Michigan Wolverine sucker. This one looks the coolest, but it's... Whenever the Wolverine becomes blocked, it gets +2/+... Oh, until end of turn. Okay. Wolverine Pack. Rampage 2. For each creature assigned to block it beyond the first. This creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Okay. For each creature that blocks it, Rabbit and Wolverine gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So none of them are really that overwhelming or good. But, so since none of them are good, and I decided I'm going to have a pet Wolverine card in this deck, I'm going to go with the one that looks the coolest. The Deepwood Wolverine.
There you go.
That's the 1/1 for 1. I don't... Here, let me look up creature type elephant. I don't think there's going to be an elephant that is going to have a better effect for this deck than the Terastodon. But that's just a lot of mana to get to.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty, it's quite a bit. Let's see.
But I got to have an elephant in this deck. Oh, and Crystal would probably be mad if I didn't put a Beeble in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple of them, so I'm sure you'll have to put the Beebles in.
Yeah, fuck.
At least one of them.
Come on, Scryfall.
Okay. All the guest cards are from the unset by the looks of it. Yeah.
Ooh, Battle Mammoth isn't bad. Whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card.
Oh yeah, card draw is always going to be good.
Wait, is this a real legal card? I forgot to do Commander Legal on my filter. Oh, this is an unreleased card. Oh, is this coming out? MOC. No, because March of the Machine is what's next. Huh.
Ooh, dude. Yeah, and March. Yeah, because so there's two fractal creatures. One of them might be a auto include.
What's it do?
Essex Fractal Bloom. It's a 4/4 with flying. The first time you would create one or more tokens during each of your turns, you may instead choose a creature other than Essex Fractal Bloom and create that many tokens that are copies of that creature.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like an auto include in this deck if I've ever heard one.
Because we create the copies that enter the battlefield as tokens, and as they would... actually, hold on. Are we technically creating tokens if we're copying spells?
No. Because I know this because Parallel Lives does not duplicate tokens created by Volo. Because what it does is it copies the spell and then the copy becomes a token, so we aren't creating tokens. But this card...
Oh.
Yeah.
The first time you would create one or more tokens during each of your turns.
Yeah, no. We technically are not.
Boo. Alright, well then we would have to probably use the interdisciplinary mascot. Problem is that one is a elemental fractal, and I don't know if we want to use our elemental on that.
No. Because Elemental's got some fucking bangers, man.
Oh, damn. Okay, so fractals are out.
Oh, the other Fractal's not gonna work?
Well, the other fractal is the one I was telling you about, the one that... Well, I guess we could put it in, but it's not gonna work the way I thought it did.
Oh, yeah. No.
Might be worth putting on the maybe board.
Okay. Terastodon. Yeah, decided to go Terrastodon.
Ooh, are you sure there isn't another golem you want to put in, Dave?
Oh, what'd you find?
It's a food golem.
Ah, I'm already interested.
The ginger brute.
Oh, the ginger brute. You know me. I love the ginger brute so much.
Yeah, but is it better than Sad Robot?
It's not. We need Sad Robot. If we're not able to play Rampant Growth and Cultivate, we need Sad Robot. Okay, Campus Guide's a golem, so no. What's Sky Scanner? Probably a Thopter. Yeah, Thopter. Okay, yeah, I'd rather have just the Manadork Thopter. Oh man.
We can put some ferrets in the deck.
Sure, that'll make Crystal happy.
It would, really would.
Speaking of making Crystal happy, I'm gonna put in the Beebles.
We have a couple different options for dreadnoughts.
I'm gonna do the Artifact Beebles because it just sounds better. Because more people are gonna have artifacts and enchantments. I feel like, especially with creating food, creating treasure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Artifacts are a lot more common.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Ferrets.
Joven's ferrets.
Joven's ferrets. Apparently, I don't know how to spell.
JOVEN''S.
Joven's ferrets. 26 cents. Whenever Joven's ferret attacks, gets +0/+2 until end of turn. At the end of combat, tap all creatures that blocked Joven's ferrets this turn. They don't untap during Joven's next untap step. That's funny. Yeah, we're doing it. It's like, oh, you want to block my little 1/1 ferret? Well, tap down. Especially if I have stuff like Loyal Guardian on the field, then those ferrets aren't going to be so little after all.
Ooh. Parcelmer. Artifact creature Clumer. It'll take up our Mer slot, but I don't know how many other Mers we might be interested in.
The only Mers I can think of being interested in are Mer Battlesphere or Manadorks.
This one's pay 2 and sack it, draw a card. For a 2/1 for 2.
So it's a Clumer.
Uh-huh.
I guess the question is going to be, what's going to end up being more important, the Manadork mirror or the Clue mirror? Alright, well, I'm going to put him in the deck right now. And then, what's the green mirror? What's the mirror that taps for a forest? Copper? No. Oh, no, it is. I was right. Wow, what a guess. I'm going to put the copper one on the baby board. And then we'll assess what we need. Okay, I think I might... I don't want to sacrifice the Owlbear just for Birds of Paradise.
No, I don't think we need to go too crazy with our Manadorks. We would if the deck was going to be running a ton of high-costed creatures, but I'm not sure that that's going to be the case.
It might. No, it's probably gonna be a nice mix actually, because you know me, I like my big drops, but then we're also have been picking a lot of low guys right now. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm going to put Avenger of Zendikar onto the maybe board. Because I don't imagine a better elemental for this deck. Getting two ticks of that. The big, massive ETB.
Which one?
Avenger of Zendikar.
That would be pretty sick to get 2 at once.
Oh, here we go. A Halfling Citizen. I don't imagine picking a different Halfling or Citizen card. And it's not legendary. Prosperous Innkeeper. When Prosperous Innkeeper enters the battlefield, create a treasure token, so that's 2 treasures. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So that's 2 life every time we play a creature, because it doesn't say cast, it says ETB. So we'd get 1 for the token, and we'd get 1 for the main dude. Yeah, I think that's an auto include right there. What do you think? Unless you
Type is it again?
Halfling Citizen.
We'd have to look. I feel like we'd have to look through the halflings because they have introduced some of them.
All right, I'll do that right now.
Who knows? Maybe not.
All right, Halfling. Halflings in green and blue. There are 4. And 3 of them are legends, so we wouldn't get a copy that stays anyways.
Yeah, that's the one other thing with Bola's Guide. We don't want to play legendaries.
Yeah, not unless the effect is an ETB and it's good enough. Like, because we would get 2 ETB triggers. Just one of them would then end up dying. So if it has a dying effect too, it could be worth it.
So there's a rabid wombat who...
Oh my god, there's a wombat creature?
Yeah, there's a wombat creature, but we really wouldn't get a whole lot of it because its whole thing is it needs auras on it. And if we're not running any non-creatures.
Oh, yeah, it's a 0/1. Yeah, if we're not running any non-creatures, we can't do this one. But otherwise I would, because look at that guy. Look at him. Look at him.
Ooh.
Dude just has rabies.
Yeah. There's 2 eligible sponge cards.
Sponge?
Sponge.
What the fuck, Magic? Alright, what do we got? Thought Sponge. Ooh, Flash. Like seeing that already. This battlefield with a number of plus 1 plus on it equal to the greatest number of cards the opponent has drawn this turn. When Thought Sponge dies, draw a card equal to its power. Yes, please. Target creature loses flying, first strike, or trample until end of turn. Less cool. Thought Sponge, you're in. You may think to yourself, kids, well, that's so specific. That's like, that's such a specific flash. It's like, people are drawing cards all the time in this format, man. Imagine.
And you only need, like, again, if someone draws 3 cards and you drop that,
boom.
Like, it's a 4/4, and you draw 4 cards when it dies.
Yup. And then also, we just played against a guy, Mike's buddy Chris, who was playing the Locust God. So he was drawing and discarding cards like crazy. Drop a Thought Sponge on one of his turns. Bam. That's 2 big-ass Thought Sponges.
2 big creatures, and if one of them dies, or either one of them dies, you get to draw a card.
You get to draw that many cards. I love it. I love it. Thank you. See, this is why you're here, Ian. Appreciate you. Speaking of dorks, let's look up fairies, because I think I have the fairy we should use, but I don't. But we should look. We should look at fairies. Just in case.
This is a marching machine. What the heck is this card?
Do.
Oh, it's not legal or anything weird.
Okay. Oh, there's 73 fairies to go through. Oh my goodness. As Ailing Leprechaun. I love this card. All creatures that block or are blocked by Leprechaun become green creatures. Use counters to indicate change creatures. Cost to tap, maintain, or use a special ability if target creature remains entirely unchanged. Such a stupid, weird ability, but the art of this card is adorable. Alright, yeah, I figured there'd be a lot of blue fairies to look through. Yeah, a lot of them have.
There's gonna be a ton of blue fairies.
And a lot of them have flash.
Let me know when you pick out your fairy. I got another card for you to look at.
Okay, well, I'm leaning towards Mara Leaf Fairy just because it's a mana dork. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do Mara Leaf Pixie. Because it taps for green or blue. And is 2 mana to bring in. Alright, what's the card?
The card is Signal Pest.
Creature type Pest?
Yep, creature type Pest.
Ooh, colorless. Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets plus 1 on a turn. This can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Oh. Interesting. Little 0/1 guy. Can't be blocked except by flying and reach. How many pests are there in our colors?
2, and the other one is green, but it's not commander legal.
Oh.
It references double face cards, and it's coming out in March of the Machine, but it's weird. I'm not entirely sure why it's not.
Maybe it doesn't list it as legal because the set's not out yet. Technically, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly, you would. Yeah, you could look at it. It's Overgrown Pest.
All right, I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, MOM, so March of the Machine. At the top of the library, you may reveal a land or double face card from among them. In your hand, put the rest in random order. So, that would probably be the pest I would go with. But I don't, yeah, like you said, I don't know what's going on with this card. I don't know why it's listed as not legal and everything. Is it because March of the Machine's not out yet? I don't know.
Possibly. I would have to look at another March of the Machine.
Yeah, because it's a way to get a land in hand. You know, 2 lands in hand because you get to do that twice. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put the Signal Pest in my battle.
Yep. Next thing you could look at is Nautilus.
Spell it, please.
Nautilus.
Okay.
There's 2 of them.
Ah, this is their creature type, huh? Okay, this first one says creature type Beast. Is it errata to be Nautilus? Oh, it's errata to be Nautilus Beast.
Oh, so that would use up our beast.
Yeah, and they're a great beast. All right, so let's look at this other guy.
Yeah, the other one is just Nautilus.
Enchantment creature.
No enchantment creature.
Sacrifice an enchanted creature +1/+1 it has. When this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it.
What a 4/4 for 3.
That's not bad.
You get 2 of them.
I'm gonna get 2 of them. Yeah, let's do it. Good find.
And then you can also look up creature type Starfish.
Dude, Magic the Gathering is awesome.
The one's kind of a classic.
Oh, then I want it. Starfish. Well, not startfish.
Start fish. Let's start fishing.
All right, so we got the sigiled starfish and the spiny starfish.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just tap and scry. Not bad. And this is regenerate. At the end of any turn in which it was regenerated, put a starfish token into play for each time it was regenerated that turn. Treat those tokens as 0/1 blue creature. Huh. So I could just... And you could just regenerate if you have the mana, right?
Right.
It doesn't even have to have damage on it. You can just do it.
Mm-hmm. Just got army of 0/1 blockers.
Yeah, how many times can I regenerate it? Can I be like... At the end of Crystal's turn, I have like 5 open blue mana. Can I just be like, okay, I regenerate my starfish 5 times?
Yep.
Fucking sick. Let's go.
You don't want the scry one.
I assumed you were showing me the other one.
The scrying one is the classic one. The other
Okay.
one is an old weird card, but I do like it because it'd be like, oh, you swing at me while I have, with all these mana dorks, I have 20 open mana. Cool.
Here's a bunch of 0/1 starfish. Like, do they have trample? No.
Yeah.
Okay, they're blocked by 20 0/1 starfish.
Yeah, that all regenerate.
Yep.
For sheep, there's 2 potential options.
Hell yeah.
Sheep.
Sheep, creature type sheep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what do we got? We got... Oh, this guy's scary looking. Gatebreaker Ram gets +1/+1 on each gate you control. Oh, I could throw in some gates. As long as you control 2 or more gates, has vigilance and trample. Yes! All right, I'm going to throw in some gates into this mana base.
Yeah, they'll have to be green-blue gates.
Or colorless.
Ooh.
Or colorless. Remember, there was a lot of gates released in Baldur's Gate.
There's also 2
Ooh,
options.
okay, though.
Jen's favorite creature types.
Okay, so you should have probably stopped me because this Rust Spore Ram, though, comes into play to destroy target equipment.
Could be good if your opponent's playing an equipment.
Yeah, that is a big if right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which sheep would you go with? I haven't done enough of this deck build. I haven't asked you enough.
So, one of the things to think about is if we're going all creatures, utility creatures are almost always going to get the nod.
Right.
But if it was, when it comes into play destroying an artifact, 100%.
That would be a no-brainer.
But it's when it comes into play destroying equipment. And while a lot of decks run some equipment, it's like, do they get their quick Swiftfoot boots or whatever? And
right.
Like, your opponent might have 10 artifacts and none of them are equipment. So.
I just had to mute myself to blow my nose real quick.
Okay. So I lean toward the Gatebreaker Ram as long as we can get enough gates in.
Right.
Because remember, too, you have to have 2 or more for him to get Vigilance and Trample. And he's only a 2/2 if you don't have more gates. Now, if you had 2 gates, he'd be a 4/4 with Vigilance and Trample, and you'd have 2 copies of him.
Sorry, I was muted again. Yeah. I'm going to put Rustspore Ram on the maybe board. That's a tough one. This is I think. Can we look at oozes?
Yes. Let me do that. Let me do this. Open up another tab so I can run 2 searches at once. And we are looking for green and blue and commander colors.
Yep, green, blue, commander colors, oozes. Oh, and commander legal. Make sure we check that off. Because my brain is telling me nothing's going to beat acidic ooze. But I want you to look at the oozes too. Ooh, ancient ooze though. Oh, and then biohygenic ooze. Oh, you're a human ooze, so you don't qualify. Classic green slime. Too bad the gelatinous cube is a black creature, because I would put gelatinous cube into this D&D deck. Sorry, that was disgusting.
I didn't hear anything. So.
Oh, good. How much is... Ooh, Predator Ooze.
What was the Predator Ooze do?
Indestructible. Whenever Predator Ooze attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Predator Ooze its turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Predator Ooze.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Ravenous Slime's also pretty solid.
Oh, yeah, that is good. Alright, so it's now down to the debate again. When we're leaning all into creatures, it's like utility versus the big splashy fun.
Yeah, I will say, gain to drop 2 acidic slimes and blowing up 2 artifacts. And some combination of 2 artifact enchantments or lands. And then having 2/2/2 Death Touchers is pretty solid.
It's hard to beat. Let's just do acidic ooze, because we are going very slow. And I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, I'd say if there was any other ooze I would look at putting in, it would probably be the Predator Ooze, just because that is hard to deal with.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I've got a fun one for you. And I found it when I was doing my pre-scouting. And, excuse me. When I was scouting rangers. Carefree Swine Master. Gnome Ranger. Whenever Carefree Swine Master attacks, you may pay 1 and a green. If you do, create a 2/2 green boar creature token that's tapped and attacking. The only thing I'd have to be careful about is by creating that boar token, messing up my boar creature slot.
Yeah, you would need to look at your boars and see if there's anything that matches up.
Oh, there is something I want for boar. It's too good of a boar to not put in here. What is it? Phase Runner? Or End Rays?
Oh,
End Rays Forerunners?
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When it enters the battlefield, the creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Trample on a turn.
Yeah, so essentially Overrun, which is utility.
Yeah.
Rather than running Overrun, you were just run that guy.
Yeah, and it'd be +4/+4 for all the creatures, and yeah, it'd be gross.
It would. Alright, there's 2 potential otters that can go in the deck.
Ooh, that's cute.
One is an elemental otter, so take up our elemental slot.
That is probably going to be a no-go. Elemental, it was probably good elemental.
It's not bad. The Eon Frolicker. But the Thieving Otter is just a 2/2. Whenever it deals combat damage to opponent, draw a card for 3 mana.
Yeah, sure. It's adorable as hell, too. And on the off chance it slips through, draw a card. I love drawing cards. Alright. Here we go. This is going to be the tough one. Not the tough one. This is going to be a tough one that I'm looking up. You continue doing your thing, and I will look at the cards. But I'm going to be looking at our dragon slot right now.
Yes. Dragon is going to be a difficult one.
I mean,
You
obviously...
said you already have a sliver?
Yes. All sliver creatures you control tap for mana of any color. I decided it was important to get a mana dork.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm looking at mongooses right now. There's the blurred mongoose, can't be countered, has shroud, 2/1 for 2. Karoo meerkat, which for some reason is a mongoose.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Why not?
It's a 2/1 for 2 that's protection from blue. And then Nimble Mongoose, which is a 1/1 shroud with threshold. So as long as there's 7 or more cards in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2.
Wow, these are all kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, for 1 mana, you would get 2 1/1s with shroud that, once there's 7 cards in your graveyard, become 3/3.
Okay, so the meerkat on its original card was summon meerkat, and then they decided just to make it a mongoose.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I think the protection from blue is going to be the one that ends up being the most useful. Because, never end up having a lot of stuff in the graveyard unless someone board wipes. Shroud is cool, but Shroud, as I pointed out to one of Crystal's cards that came with Shroud, and whenever they do combat damage, like draw a card or something, I was like, Shroud is nice, but Shroud doesn't mean unblockable. You know? It can still get blocked.
Yeah. Yes, correct. It just means it can't be targeted. And 3/3s that are untargetable aren't as big a problem as other things.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right. You're probably the pro blue's probably the way to go. But just remember, it's going to be pro blue from your own effects too. Not that we have a lot of effects that are going to care about that.
That's true. That's true. All right, here we go. Let's see. What does this do? Oh, here we go. Amphin Mutineer. Salamander Pirate. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token. So basically like a Pongify or Generous Gift, but on a salamander pirate.
Nice.
I don't imagine the other choices for salamander or pirate being more utility than that.
Pirate maybe. Salamander probably not.
Yeah.
You should look up Drillworks Mole.
I'm already sold. What's it do?
2 tap, put a +1/+1 counter on Drillworks Mole and a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target commander creature you control.
Oh, fun. Creature type mole. I assume there weren't a lot of creature type moles.
There was 3. One of them was a mole beast.
Nope, don't want it.
Yeah, and the other one, what the other mole do? Oh, why am I blanking on what he did? Oh, when he came enters the battlefield, you put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, and he was a 3/3 with trample.
Yeah. Meh.
Yeah. Knoll Hunter, Pack Tactics. Whenever it attacks, if you attacked with creatures of total power 6 or greater this combat, put a +1/+1 counter on Knoll Hunter.
See, I don't want the dragon dual types. I don't want the dragon spirits. I want just dragons. What about Steel Hellkite?
Steel Hellkite is just an objectively good card.
It's a removal option. I mean, it's removal contingency, but it could happen.
And I don't know if any of the green or blue dragons are just gonna outshine what it can do.
No, probably not. I mean, not except for the expensive ones. Like Old Gnawbone. Which I packed one, but I'm not going to buy another one, you know. Alright, let's do it. Steel Hellkite. That's my dragon slot.
For our troglodyte,
I didn't even know that.
Not a troglodyte, a trilobite. There are two options.
Jesus Christ. Magic, you're so silly.
There's the cryptic trilobite. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters. His cost is XX. We remove a +1/+1 counter from cryptic trilobite. You add 2 colorless mana. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. And then you can pay 1 and tap him to put a +1/+1 counter on him. Or the Shorekeeper, 1 blue for a 0/3. You pay 7 in a blue, tap and sack him to draw 3 cards.
7 and a blue?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah, 8 mana.
8 mana to draw 3? That's a lot of mana.
It is. Oh, here's a, we have a cockatrice option as well.
I want it.
The one is just a flyer. Whenever it becomes blocked by a non-wall creature, destroy that creature at the end of combat. 2/4. Or we go with the Fleet Feather Cockatrice, which is 3 a green and a blue. For a 3/3 flash, flying death touch, and it has monstrosity 3 for 5 a green and a blue.
Yeah, I want
it.
it.
Become a 6/6 flying death touch.
I would like it, please.
And for our trilobite, I lean towards the cryptic trilobite out of the two of them.
Oh, this one's a sliver trilobite. Oh, look at that. That's weird.
Yeah, that's why I eliminated that one. We already had our sliver slot taken.
Yeah, sure, fuck it. Cryptic trilobite, why not? Alright. Cryptic trilobite. Alright, I'm gonna need you to spell cockatrice. I think I know how to spell it, but...
C-O-C-K...
Oh, never mind. I spelled it correctly enough to get the... to get the creature. Oh, this thing looks cool as fuck, too. Yeah, I love it. I'm in love with
in a
it.
sec, Dave, so I can make some food for me and the missus.
Okay.
Trying to see here. Wow, I think the noggles are all red and blue. I think they're all 2-color, but... Oh, and did you hear me earlier about the Knoll Hunter?
Knoll Hunter. No, I didn't. Oh, it's just creature type Knoll. I have this card too. Yeah. That's going to be an easy enough trigger. And we don't have any other Knolls.
Alright, you should look up the Surrakar, Surrakar. There's 2 blue ones, and one of them could be a bounce spell.
Oh my goodness. Creature type Surrakar. Okay. Return target attack creature to its owner's hand. Recast an instant sorcery spell, which we'll never do.
Oh yeah, all the noggles are red and blue. Can't have any donkey-headed people.
Boo! The injustice of it all. Alright, do you want me to like stay on and keep going and keep talking and you'll come back? Or do you want to just call it?
What I might do is I might switch over to the discard on my phone and
Okay.
just do my thing there.
Okay.
So I won't be able to actively look up cards with you, but we can at least talk about them.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, we'll take this opportunity to take a 5 too. We'll do a little 5-minute little recess here, because I need to stretch and crack my back. So.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and shoot me a text when you're ready, and I'll sign back onto the Discord.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, cool.
Okay, I'm back. Ian is off making food for his lovely wife. He might be hopping into the Discord call on his phone, but he won't be able to just research obscure-ass cards for me. So, that means the onus is on me. So let's get rolling here. First of all, as an owner of a turtle deck, I feel that I am qualified to pick the best turtle in the bunch.
Hear me?
Hi, Ian.
Hi there. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a little funky, but it's because you're on your phone now, but we'll manage.
Yeah, I'm on my Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
So
I'm just picking out my turtle.
Oh, yep. Arguably the most important pick of the entire deck.
That's right. I am the resident turtle expert.
Mm-hmm.
And
You'll be very happy to know that Jen put the stickers up in the baby's room, and she put the sea turtle right above the crib.
yeah. And for me, as the resident turtle expert with a turtle deck of his own, there's only one turtle that I think is the turtle pick. The next most useful turtle is the turtle hydra. That whenever I cast a big creature, I get to draw a card, which would be nice to do that twice. However, it's turtle / hydra. I don't know if I want to lock in my hydra slot. If I end up not liking any of the hydras, then maybe I'll go back to it. But at this moment, I think the choice is the colossal sky turtle, because it's flying, ward 2, and then has 2 different channel abilities if I so need to use them.
Yeah, exactly. If you're just not in a position to cast them, you could end up just using those channel abilities to do what you gotta do.
Yep. So, there's my turtle pick. The sky turtle. Plus, it's nice having a big, decently sized flying body.
Mm-hmm. Alright, you have 4 options for Aurochs, which are like these creatures.
How do you spell it?
Aurochs.
A-U. Oh. It would be helpful if my thing was actually typing. A-U-R.
Aurochs.
Okay.
But they look pretty parasitic now that I'm looking at it. They all care about their own creature type, which I guess wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, because there would always be at least one other one on the field. Yeah.
It would probably be maybe the original one, just because then they'd be 4/3 tramplers.
I was thinking the snow creature one, the Rhymehorn.
Terror creature blocks. Oh, yeah, that could be, because that's utility, forcing your opponent into bad blocks.
It would just mean I'd have to use snow basics. Oh no, Dave playing Snowlands. Who's ever heard of that?
Exactly.
I fucking love Snowlands. I don't give a shit. I think they're awesome. I love the people that complain about, oh, they made it so there's no reason to not just run snow basics in all your deck just so that people can think maybe you have snow cards in there. And it's like, bro, you're overthinking it. You're playing this casual game at too competitive a format if you're thinking that level of it. You're like, oh, he played a regular island. That means I don't have to worry about these snow cards. Bro, then you're not playing at the casual level that this game was meant to be played at. You know?
Exactly. You've gone too far.
Yeah, you've gone too far off the deep end. All right, Rhymehorn. You know what? I'm gonna actually put him in because I think he's a beautiful beast.
Ooh, you do have options for angels too.
Oh, blue-green angels, you say?
There's one mono blue angel, illusionary angel. Oh, which is actually viable. Cast illusionary angel only if you cast another spell this turn. But it doesn't have the usual thing of illusions where they die if anything else gets cast.
And it's gorgeous too.
Yeah, it's a great art.
Okay, and then I see we have 3 colorless angels. One of them is an angel warrior, so we might want to be cautious about that one because I don't know what we're going to use our warrior slide on. Although this would be, if it's I should read the card to see if it's even viable first. It's +1, +1 on the turn. If exactly 3 colors of mana was spent, no, it's a 2-color deck, so that one can get fucked.
Yeah.
Although some of our mana darks say produce mana of any color. I could say I'm producing black just for shigs, or white. And that's 3 mana, 3 colors. So
if that was the card you opted to use for both our angel and our warrior, then I would definitely say let's make sure we set that up to be possible.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna win out over the other colorless angel. The Copperleaf Angel is pretty bad. Flying, tap, X, sacrifice X lands, put X plus.
Oh, the classic Platinum Angel.
Or the Platinum Angel. Because if you get 2 Platinum Angels out, now they're double fucked that they gotta blow up your shit.
Yeah. They gotta get rid of 2 Platinum Angels. It's so tempting. How much is the Platinum Angel?
I mean, I lean towards the Platinum Angel or the Illusionary Angel.
I am gonna say no to the Platinum Angel. I know that sounds silly because that is such a great effect to have on 2 creatures. But it's also an effect I don't like. Because it also says I. Oh, wait, no? Yeah. I can't lose the game. Opponents can't win the game. That's so good, and it would be on 2 creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard. I don't know if you can actually say no to the Platinum Angel, but the Illusionary Angel is gorgeous. That is such an amazing art. I love it so much.
I actually lean towards the Illusionary Angel. 4/4 flying. 4/4 flyer. I mean, the Platinum Angel is fine, but it turns you into the instant threat at the board. Everyone feels they need to kill you.
Yeah.
Or at least kill you.
I guess the only question becomes, is there a different illusion we would want? Which I built a deck list of illusion blue cards, so there's a lot of fun ones. We might have to just do a quick peek over at the illusions.
Yeah, that is true. If we're looking for just a pure angel, it'll probably be the Platinum Angel.
Correct.
If we're looking for if we're willing to use up our illusion slot, then maybe the Illusionary Angel.
Yeah, a lot of illusions have that ability that's no fun. But I did make a deck. I made a deck of illusions, but the commander cares about illusions dying. It wants them to die.
Yeah.
Alright. God, there's so many illusions.
We'll be faced with an interesting choice on our next creature type.
What creature are you looking at?
Antelope.
Ooh, antelope. That's fun. Excuse me.
Because I'm looking, there's essentially 3 that I'm looking at. Actually, hold on. Okay, that one's an Antelope Beast. That one is also an Antelope Beast, so they might actually be out. So there might actually only be one option.
Ooh, Ian. Ian, illusory ambusher. Flash, whenever illusory ambusher is dealt damage, draw that many cards. Flash in 2 blockers and draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? It's a cat illusion, though. I don't... That would take up our cat slot.
Yeah, we'd have to look at our green cat slots.
Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of the illusions are illusion something, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah, because, I mean, just an illusion by itself doesn't really describe what it is.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm just gonna make the call. I think I'm just gonna go with the angel.
Yeah, the illusionary angel. The art is beautiful too. That is art that would definitely make a good playmat.
Yeah, well, that would be a great playmat. Oh, hold on, though, Ian. Hold on. I think I might have found the actual winner for the illusion here, because I can't imagine the second type it has. I don't know if we'll beat it. Phantom Ninja.
Ooh, I mean, so some of the better ninjas are in blue.
Yeah, but a lot of them are going to be ninja somethings, aren't they?
Let's see.
You know what? Yeah, let's look up ninjas right now.
Snake ninja. Can't do human. We could do snake. I don't think we put a snake in yet.
We haven't, but Lotus Cobra exists.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There is an insect ninja.
And so does Sack Elder.
Ooh, when Springleaf Avenger deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand.
Well, that could be fun.
Phantom Ninja can 2/2 that can't be blocked.
Two 2/2s that can't be blocked.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Turtle Ninja's out. Yeah, the Snake Ninjas are either the one that whenever deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control that doesn't have a +1/+1 counter on it, or a 1/1 with Death Touch. So I lean towards, if we're gonna... Oh, there's a Naga Ninja. Whenever deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Mist Syndicate Naga. So essentially, we could just create a shit ton of Mist Syndicate Nagas as long as they keep hitting.
Yeah, that's the only other ninja that even like peaked.
Yeah, the Naga one or the Insect Ninja, and the Insect Ninja is really good because as long as it deals combat damage to a player, you return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So anything that anyone has killed, you can get back because all the cards in the deck are going to be permanent cards. So you get your pick.
That's true.
And I don't know if there's an this is the problem with building this deck right now. It's like we started on Angel. We're like, ooh, Illusionary Angel. All right, let's go look at illusions. Oh, we found Illusionary Ninja. Okay, let's go look at ninjas.
No.
Okay. Oh, now we look at ninjas. Oh, now we gotta go look at insects.
This is 100% the reason why I wanted to build this deck with somebody with me, so they can help me keep track of all this like rabbit hole deck building that is going to be the deck.
Okay, so think of it this way. We have either Platinum Angel or Illusionary Angel. Then you went and looked at illusions, and you were leaning towards Illusionary Angel until the Phantom Ninja showed up.
Yep.
Which, yes, 2 unblockable 2/2s is pretty good.
Yep.
Is it better than 2 flying 4/4s?
This is probably not the correct answer. But based on our playgroups, I'm going to say yes. Our playgroups run so much flying. You know?
They do. They really do.
So like flying is great, but the evasiveness of flying is less effective at the table I'm typically playing at. So much flying at our tables. Especially Crystal. Crystal is just flying, like... Crystal's decks are basically flying tribal. Hell, she has a flying tribal deck. So, like...
Yeah, right now I'm kind of looking through the illusions just to see if I kind of agree that there's another option.
Yeah, I did kind of skim, but I didn't... There was the cat illusion I liked, but there's a cat card that's like one of the most picked cards for this deck that can combo like for infinite mana with like Peregrine Drake. Oh, here we go. Dutiful Replicator, artifact creature assembly worker. We don't have an assembly worker yet.
No.
When it enters the battlefield, I may pay 1. When you do, create a token that's a copy of target token you control, not named Dutiful Replicator. You know what? Yeah, that should be auto-include in a deck that's just making tokens of every card I play.
Oh, I found Mistform Stalker. You can change its creature type when it's on the battlefield.
What?
So you would have to pay 1 man to do that. So, like, it would actually allow you to run multiple illusions in the deck. And then it has 2 blue. It gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. Most of the Mistform creatures are going to have a way to change your creature type. It's kind of what they did.
You know, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put... Should I put that in the deck? It's a 1/1. It's a neat little ability. But I'd have to pay 2 mana if I draw my Illusion Ninja to change both of their types. There'll be 2 extra mana. I'm going to put that on the maybe board because that's kind of cool.
Oh, we will have to look at walls as well at some point.
Oh, I know exactly what wall I want. Okay, I say that now, but I guess I should look at the other walls of due diligence. But my initial instinct, anytime I think about a wall, is Crashing Drawbridge. That's the one you can just tap and creatures get haste.
Oh yeah, that is a super solid wall. Here's a weird creature that this would be a little mana intensive to use. Creature spells you cast that share a creature type with Mistform War Chief cost 1 less to cast, and then you can tap him to make him become a creature type of your choice till end of turn. So the problem is he could make our creatures cost less by just matching their creature type, but then that would like totally mess up what Vola's doing.
Yeah, that's a hard pass on that one.
I just saw him and I'm like, that's a weird card.
That's a very weird card. Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Okay, so rather than the Phantom Ninja, we could run the Phantom Warrior, but that would use our warriors.
Okay. Alright, here we go. I got our horror slot filled. Merc Fiend Liege. Gives +1/+1 to green creatures, +1/+1 to blue creatures, and untaps all green and or blue creatures I control during each other player's untap step. So that's like a no-brainer.
Is he just a straight up horror?
Straight horror.
Okay. Here, I think I might have found something that actually would fit as an illusion and would fit that same role that the ninja card did.
Yeah.
Thakolos Mistfolk. It's a 2/1 with Shadow that you can pay 1 blue to put on top of your hand.
Okay, what is it? What Mistfolk?
Thakolos Mistfolk. THALAKOS.
On top of owner's library. Okay. And you like that guy better than the ninja?
Well, essentially, he would do the same thing that the ninja does. Creatures of shadow can only be blocked by other creatures with shadow, and how often do you see any creatures with shadow in the play group?
Never.
Exactly. So it's like horsemanship.
Oh, wait. The guy with the horsemanship is human. Damn. I was like, there's a cheap-ass horsemanship card. Okay. Alright, that opens up the ninja slot, but,
Which I think should be that insect ninja, because I doubt that there's a bunch of other good insects.
I mean, we are running green. And Scoot Swarm exists.
Yeah, but it scoots for man.
Okay,
Feels wrong.
I'll give you another insect then, that I think he won't say feels wrong too. Hornet Queen.
Yeah, flying death touch is pretty fucking something. Let's see, I'm looking through insects right now.
I think it might be hard. I agree with you on Scoot Swarm. Like, I don't want to use that as my slot because I don't want to track that. But Hornet Queen.
Hornet Queen's solid, but do remember, if we're not running anything else, we do need those utility creatures. And having
Yeah.
a way to get some cards back from the graveyard. I mean, it needs to deal combat damage to do it, you know. But again, we're playing an all creature deck. There's going to be a limit to, you know, a limit in certain ways.
Right.
So, but I do get it. Hornet Queen is just straight up good, and Scoot Swarm is one of those cards that's like, deal with me or lose.
Dust Shell Crawler for an out of left field shout. That's a personal favorite card of mine. Enters the battlefield.
Destroy artifact or enchantment.
No, Dust Shell Crawler is the enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target
yeah.
creature, and then each creature you control with a counter on it gets trample.
Mm-hmm.
Nice bit of utility.
Solid.
Giant Ladybug would let me put lands on the top of my deck, but then I would draw 2 lands in a row.
Yeah, she's good later. Don't when I guess she's sorry, not later. She's good earlier when you might have used up the lands in your hand and you have stuff to cast, but then you want to keep lands coming.
Yeah. Oh man.
My big thing is I don't know what other ninja you would put in the deck other than the insect ninja. You know,
The Naga.
I'm just wondering if
The Naga
what
Ninja.
the Naga one do? Oh yeah, the one it was.
Made copies of itself.
Yeah, whenever it deals damage, it makes copies of itself, which we would have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's either the Naga or the insect for the ninja. So yeah, it comes down to what do we want to do with our insect slot? Because most insects are just going to be straight up insects. They're not going to be a double dipper.
Right. These are tough decisions.
That they are.
I mean, my gut instinct was the
Go ahead.
my gut instinct was the Hornet Queen.
See, I wonder if it's something where on the first build of the deck, because Hornet Queen's a kind of a costly card, isn't it? Like price wise.
Not anymore. It's been reprinted a couple
Oh, that's
times.
right. It's been yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if it's not you run with the more kind of restrictive card, the less bomb, to see how it does, and if it doesn't do well, you have the auto, like make the whole deck better card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you know what, though? I think Hornet Queen is my gut, but I think Springleaf Avenger is going to be the one I put in.
I would say maybe throw the Hornet Queen in the deck list now, and then just throw him in maybe board. You know, I feel like it's a deck that's going to take a few iterations to really kind of hammer what you want to do with it.
I just spelled Horny Queen instead of Hornet Queen.
Wow, Dave, get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, Hornet Queen costs $0.25 now.
Okay.
When I bought it for when I first upgraded you over the first time, it was like $3.
Of course.
Womp, womp, womp.
It's always how it goes, Dave. I'll go buy like $100 card for Bruno, and they'll reprint it, and it'll be like fucking 48 cents.
All right, I'm moving Springleaf Avenger to the maybe board then. I think he looks really cool, though.
He does, and my thing is he would take up your ninja slot.
Okay.
You know, again, like
right, but we looked
again,
at the ninja. Most of them were
Manga.
humans.
Most of them are humans. There's a turtle. There's a few snakes. The snakes don't really stand out.
Yeah, there's a Ninja Turtle, which is, I mean, he's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but
You already have a turtle.
Sky Turtle is just unquestionably better.
Yeah, and that's the other thing to think about with the Hornet Queen is how many other cards are we going to have that are going to be going like that beater role
Right.
when we need utility stuff. So if it turns out like, oh, we have a bunch of really good beater cards, we don't necessarily need the Hornet Queen to be another one. Which again, she's a defensive card, probably first and foremost.
Right, especially with how much flying we have, and it's going to make 2 Hornet Queens. And then she comes in with what? 3 tokens each?
4, I think.
4. So that is 10. 10 bodies for 7 mana.
Yeah.
Like, that's just good value.
It is. It's really good value. Arguably, I mean, plus the death touch and the flying. I mean, it'd be really hard to beat that. You know, the Scoot Swarm is obviously obnoxious. Scoot Mob also fills into a similar role. But again, I think the Hornet Queen would be the way to go if you weren't to go. If you don't go, with the ninja, I think your best insect outside of that's probably gonna be the Hornet Queen.
So I just realized, much to my surprise, Ian, we've hit 41 creatures.
Okay, so we're almost there.
Yeah, 40 creatures and then a commander.
Yeah, so if we're gonna run, 36 lands or whatever, or even 38, you're looking at a little more than 60.
I was thinking about running like 40.
You definitely could, because again, that's a bit of my spells that are gonna matter at you.
Yeah. Because if it's going to be nothing but lands and creatures, I'm going to put in some big fucking creatures because that's who I am. So I'd like to make sure we have land.
Yeah. And like I said, 5 years we're fighting druids, which we're limited in the number of those we can run.
Yeah, we've already picked our druid.
Yeah, when it comes into play, go get a land. There are those cards. I'm sure name's got creature type wise.
Yeah. Alright, here's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. I'm going to go to Scryfall Advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna find us this deck's good boy.
Dog.
Yeah, this deck needs a good boy.
I think most of the dogs are going to be in white, though I know
There
there's at
are
least
mono
one
green dogs.
illusionary dog.
There are mono green dogs. I actually
Okay,
have
good.
one in my hand.
Oh, nice.
Okay, because of... Alright, so Hound... Ooh, Hound Archer. Hound
Oh, that's right.
Scout.
Hounds.
Plant Dog. So we need to remember to look up plants, because there's probably like a mono green plant that's an absolute fucking bomb.
Yeah. Terror Stomper or whatever.
Yeah.
Plant down hastily. Tertiary Stomper.
Yeah, but that one would take up my dinosaur slot, and I don't want to use my dinosaur slot on it.
No, not on a card that's pretty land dependent.
Hi, Mason. Welcome back.
Guess who's back? Back
Good again. Mason's back.
Oh, okay. Quick, go tell Mo.
There's actually more mono blue dogs than I expected to find. Because Hound has been eroded into dog. I'm doing all right, Mason. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You wanted to know how both of us were doing.
Just making some mac and cheese.
My old eyes can't tell what that emote is you just sent, Mason. I think it's somebody waving. I don't know. No, I zoomed in on it. It's somebody bundled up. Somebody's cold. Alright, so there are some Hound stuff that are like Hound Scout, Hound Warrior, so we gotta watch out for those ones. Although we should look up our Warrior. We should pick one.
That's gonna be a big one. It's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of cards off the board.
Okay, so I think I know what dog I'm gonna go with, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't really look at the abilities that well. But, I think I know which dog I'm gonna go with, and it's actually the mono green dog I have in my hand right now.
Okay.
It's the Greater Tanuki. And the reason why I'm gonna go for it is not because of what it does when it enters the battlefield, although it is a 6-mana 6/5 with trample, so not bad, but not great. But no, it has a channel ability for 2 and a green, and discarding him. Search your library for basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. So
There you go.
so that's our Rampant Goth, and it's a creature spell. And if we decide it needs to hit the battlefield, it's 2 6/5 tramplers. But if I need land, it's Cultivator, Rampant Growth, whatever one it is. I don't remember. Whatever one gives you 1 land and puts it on the battlefield.
Which Croson Tusker might be our boar.
Boar.
He's similar, like 6'5", big giant.
Is it gonna
boar
be?
that
Is it gonna beat the Overrun Boar, the Phase Runners?
Oh no, that's right. I forgot about the phase runner or mage runner.
Yeah. I tried to get Crystal to hop into the Discord too, but she never actually answered me when I told her to come chat with us. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Who just leans into their microphone and burps? Who does that? The lean was actually accidental. I was leaning forward for because I'm grabbing magic cards off my table. See if I get inspired by finding something. Tree Folk. Let's look up Tree Folk. We need a Tree Folk. We gotta have a Tree Folk, bro. Ooh. I found our serpent.
Mm-hmm.
Junkwinder. Affinity for tokens, so 1 less to cast for each token you control. Whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, always. Tap target non-land permanent opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. So, constant ice downs.
Nice. I like it. That's solid. What creature test?
What's that? Serpent.
Oh, yeah. Solid.
Shit. I don't remember what I was going to look up. Ian, do you remember what I was looking up when I found the... Oh, Tree Folk.
Yep, Tree Folk.
Mason, how's work going if you're still with us or able to respond? Abominable Tree Folk. If I do actually run snow basics, power and toughness would be equal to the number of snow permanents I control, and that'd be 2 of them, and with trample. When it enters the battlefield, tap down a creature opponents in control, so tap down ice. But I already have a snow deck. I don't want to start turning this into a snow deck.
Do we already have our beast?
No, we have not picked a beast yet. Which everybody who plays this deck picks Craterhoof Behemoth. But I'm not spending $50 on a Craterhoof Behemoth.
No.
I'd rather just spend like $500 opening random packs. Excuse me. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card.
Yep.
That's nice.
So no one's ever going to draw you, but you're going to get to draw other people all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, Heartwood Storyteller. I was looking at pangolins, and the one's really good. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control.
I like it.
But he's a beast pangolin.
I like it less.
The only one that's eligible for us that is just a straight pangolin. He just gets +1/+1 whenever he attacks.
Weak. Rootless U. When a Rootless U dies, search your library for a creature card with power or toughness 6 or greater. Reveal it and put it in your hand. 2 potential triggers of that, but they have to die. Which would actually... It'd be good board wipe defense. Like, oh, you wiped the board? I'm going to go get 2 big creatures real quick. Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind me. Just bam, bam.
Just going to go get some big creatures to put in my hand.
Let's see. Occasionally the Volk as oh yeah, the Antelope. With the Beast Antelope's probably not eligible. There really only leaves one that works.
One Antelope?
Yeah, it's the landfall 1, gain 2 life whenever it comes into play.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to put it in. I mean, there's a forest walk antelope.
It's the two that are available on trade.
There's an antelope lizard.
There's some masticores. They're all monocolor. So you'd have to figure out which one they like. There's one that has protection from planeswalkers.
Beautiful. That's so perfect. All right. I haven't been reading these tree folk abilities. All right. I'm gonna put in that card draw, tree folk. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, we do have to choose our demigod. Legendary creatures. Not. Forgive me. So.
All right. I'm gonna look at beasts, and I want you, if you're able, to also look at beasts. I feel like it's a big, it's an important green creature type, and I think we should lock down our beast. And I know there's gonna be a whole fucking lot of them too. Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, a nice simple gain 5 life when it enters the battlefield. That's nice. Beast didn't show. Blossoming Bog Beast. Whenever Blossoming Bog Beast attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control get trample and +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. So if I attack with both of them, that's a minimum of +4/+4 and trample. So that's a good one.
And it only gets bigger and bigger.
Yep. Caller of the Pack, 8/6, trample, myriad. That's a lot of 8/6s attacking. Ah, disgusting. Yeah, Crater Hoof Behemoth, which would obviously be the choice if I was going to spend all the money on it. Ooh, Cultivator Colossus. Although I think that's a card that's expensive enough to be in the case at RAW. Yeah, no. Maybe someday. Displacer Beast. Ooh, the classic Elder Gargaroth. Which I had that guy in Yorvo because I got him in a pack. Although he's kind of up there in money too. Yeah, forgot. I mean, I still have a lot of beasts to look at, Ian, but I'm leaning towards Blossoming Bog Beast.
What's the name again? Bog Beast.
Blossoming Bog Beast.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I wanted to use my jellyfish, my hydra, and my beast slot on one creature. With the Hydroid Crisis. When you cast this spell, ooh, so the copy. Wait, I guess hold on, we gotta read the text on Volo. Because are we casting the copy? Or are we just copying the spell? It just says copy that spell, so you don't cast the copy. So I won't get its effect twice, but it still gain half X life and draw half X cards rounded down. Alright. If I don't get it twice, it's less exciting. But it's still flying, trample, weird, ugly jellyfish hydra thing. Whatever you're watching, we can hear it.
It's a Beat Bobby play.
Ah, classic.
So if we're looking for, oh no, we already have a horror, so we can't do that. So if we were doing a squid creature,
yeah.
I gotta see if the sand squid is. It was originally a beast. Yeah, it's a squid beast. So never mind. That one's a squid illusion. Those are probably also squid beasts. There's probably only one squid that's eligible, but the chasm stalker would be our horror. Whenever you draw a card, you get a plus encounter, and then when it dies, you get X blue squid tokens, where X is the number of plus encounters on it.
Yeah, that's a real good card. But is it better than the horror that's an Anthem and Pseudo Vigilance? Because the Anthem would be +2/+2, because I'd have 2 copies of it. Alright. I still haven't looked through all the beasts, but I think I'm just going to make a call.
The bog beast.
The bog beast, what do you think? You think the bog beast is a good idea?
I think it's a good idea. Again, I would need to look at every single beast, which is absolutely monstrous number of them.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of them, Ian.
Now you look at Wolverine. You already picked out a halfling, I believe.
Yep, halfling citizen. There's also the questing beast, vigilance, death touch, haste. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage will be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever a questing beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that players control. No, I'm gonna go with the blossoming bog beast. Plus, it's only $1.
Yeah.
And if I swing with both of them, then it's +4/+4 and trample at minimum. All right, next up on staple creatures that I'm going to try to tackle while you continue to do your Ian things. Although there was some creature you told me to look at while I was looking at the beast. Do you remember what it was? Was it squids?
Yeah, it was squids. There's really only one option who didn't scream that he was that good.
All right, then we'll skip them. Fuck them.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of roll through here and see what I can find.
I'm going to do dinosaurs next. Because there's going to be a whole lot of mono green dinosaurs.
You could look at Slith. There's only two. One, when it becomes blocked, you draw a card, and it deals combat damage to a player, get a +++ encounter. The other one has Trample. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +++ encounter.
And it's creature type Slith?
Yep.
That sounds
Slith.
fun. Oh, Nezahal Primal Tide is an elder dinosaur. Can't be countered, no maximum hand size. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. Discard 3 cards. Exile Primal Tide, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's controls at the beginning of the next end step. That could be a good dinosaur. I think it's like $2.
We could run the reform. When it's a 0/1 for 4. When it dies, you create a 3/3 blue fish. When that dies, you create a 6/6 whale. And when that dies, you create a 9/9 kraken.
I really like the idea of it, especially because it's worm with an O. But all of those tokens are creature types, you know?
That's true. Yeah, fish, whale, kraken.
Yeah, and I kind of want to pick a whale. I kind of want to pick a kraken. Fish, I don't know what's in there in fish. But like whale and kraken, I'm sure I can find a whale and kraken I like. But maybe there's not. Maybe it's just better to have the reform. I don't know. I'm not smart. Actually, it probably would just be better to have the reform.
also have to figure out what rogue we want to use.
The Thrashing Brontodon, just a simple pay 1, sack it to destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Which might be really good just for the sake of having some artifact and enchantment removal.
Yeah. Salt and pepper quesadilla.
Yep. Little beat Baba Flay. Alright, here we got some options for jellyfish, including the classic Man of War, which is when it comes into play, you just return target creature to its owner's hand.
Classic.
Oh, you would drop it and just instantly it's 2 things back to somebody's hand.
Alright, it's either... Yeah. Yeah, if I'm gonna stick to non-legendary creatures, the best dinosaur to pick is Thrashing Brontodon, just for its utility.
Mhm.
Here we go. Teamer Sabretooth for my green cat. 1 and a green, you return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, it gains indestructible. But it's
Nice.
that's
And
a
returning stuff. Yeah, but returning stuff to your hand could be really useful.
yeah.
Oh, dude. If we don't have a shaman, I think I might have just found. I think I might have just found our ape shaman.
The ape shaman.
The silverback elder.
Yeah, Silverback Elder.
Well, there's the silverback shaman, which when it dies, you draw a card. But the silverback elder, whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Number 2, look at the top 5 cards of the library and put a land from among them onto the battlefield. Tap the rest of them, bomb your library in random order, or gain 4 life.
You know, yeah, $8 for that.
Oh, jeez. I realized how expensive it was.
But it's really good. Because I don't think I doubt we're gonna find a better shaman. I doubt we're gonna find a better ape.
Yeah, I'll look at shamans now.
Ooh. I haven't looked at the plants, but we got a mana dork that's a plant. Leaves you in Carotid. Add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any color.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, that's very good. I'd like to have that effect twice. You know what? I'm not going to search through all the plants. I'm just going to make a call and say that's my plant. Because that's good. That's good effect. Oh. The Sakura Tribe Elder would be a shaman if we wanted to do that guy.
He's a snake shaman?
Yeah, snake shaman.
Let's do shamans.
Yeah, Locust Cobra. I'm not gonna look at the snakes. There's no way there's gonna be a better utility snake than Locust Cobra. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too good. There's no way. Oh man. No. You know, let me put the budget filter on this list. Because I think I've already got all of my high budget cards on my list right now.
You already have an elf, right?
Yeah, the Beast Whisperer Elf Druid.
Yeah. So ignore all these elf shamans.
Yeah. Ignore the elf shamans because Beast Whisperer is too good, and it's gonna be too much value in our deck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never put this guy in the deck. Get out of here, human peasant. You're not supposed to be in here. Out of here. The halfling innkeeper is supposed to be in here. The halfling citizen. Yeah, right now, the most expensive card in the deck is... Well, if I take the Ape Shaman off the maybe board and put him into the main deck, he's going to be the most expensive card in the deck. But right now, put him on the maybe board while I decide if I want to...
As I'm going through everything, he might really be the play there, because I'm not seeing anything else in the shamans that's really standing out to me.
Yeah.
Like Nomad Shepherd, but again, elf shaman. A lot of elf and human shamans.
Right. And you're looking at shamans right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look at elementals. Because we've got to have an elemental. Ooh, wait a second. Oh, wait, he's a legend. But still a really good legend. I was thinking about creature type giant. Whatever you say, Bobby Flay. Dang, this stream's been going on a long time.
There's one Naga Shaman whenever creature control dies. Or, sorry, creature with toughness 4 or greater dies, you gain 4 life. But I mean, like, at this point, just scrolling through it, I don't see anything that stands out to me more than the ape.
Alright. Silverback Shaman.
Yeah, that's. I got a few more shaman cards to look at, but nothing else to handle because that's Silverback Shaman.
Ooh, how about some dryads? Because I just saw Yavimaya Dryad, which is cheap. Lets me go get a force and puts it under target player control, but I would probably pick myself.
Do we already have our tree folk?
I did pick one, but if you found one, let me know.
Woodfall Primus. 6/6 trample for 8. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent, and it has persist. So if it would die, it returns the battlefield with a -1/-1.
Ooh, that's nice.
That would be a tree poke shaman, but I still think that's not as good
As the
as Silverback.
the monkey boy.
Uh-huh.
We have the Heartwood Storyteller for Tree Folk. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be money for us.
Yeah.
And that's just a straight tree poke, right?
Yep, straight Tree Folk.
Yeah, I think that's our call for the for our 8th.
Okay, I'm gonna put him in. Our most expensive card. I'm gonna take him off the maybe board and put him into the main deck.
Just
A whole $8. I gotta turn down the volume of this music a little bit. All right. You know what's funny is Mike actually just picked up one of these from RIW. Last time we were there. Oh, I already picked the plant. Otherwise, I would say this Wall of Blossoms because it's a plant wall. Enter the battlefield, draw a card. So that would be 2, draw 2. Shapeshifter. Yeah, mirror image into the battlefield is a copy of any creature you control. Ooh. Ooh. Loyal Drake or Paragon Drake for the Drake slot.
hold on, pull up the drakes real quick.
Paragon Drake is the untapped lands, which could make an infinite mana combo. Loyal Drake is draw a card if you have your commander.
Oh, yeah, the Lieutenant Drake. That one is.
Yeah.
So beginning of common, you can so you can end up drawing 2 cards every combat. Yeah, the Peregrine Drake has the potential of becoming an infinite combo, but that's not a guarantee. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually lean towards the Loyal Drake. Personally.
A lot of these Drakes care about artifacts. I find that interesting.
What you saying?
A lot of these Drakes, they care about artifacts. I said I find that interesting.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Sphinxes right now, a little on mark. Oh.
Oh, that video I told you about that I watched recommended a Sphinx that was a budget replacement for Consecrated Sphinx, but I don't remember what it was. Loyal Drake.
Oh, is he something that draws lots of cards?
Alright, Loyal Drake has officially been added as to our
There's
Drake
an
slot.
entire Sphinx flying when there's a battlefield draw cards equal number of opponents you have, and then you can use it to make proctors.
Alright, so there is another option for a cat. What do you think is better? The utility of return target creature to hand in a pinch? Or whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card?
Which one's that?
Keeper of Fables. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
That one's really good because we're literally the only human is going to be Volo.
Right, and he's never going to swing.
Mm-hmm.
But it says one or more draw a card, so it's going to be capped at 2, right?
Yeah, essentially one trigger for each keeper. And that's a cat, right?
Yep, just a straight cat.
Yeah, I just don't know if we're going to have another cat better than that.
Well, there's the Teamer cat, which returns target creature to hand. So a rescue cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rescue cat, that would be pretty good.
I'm leaning towards rescue cat because I think it's going to be easier to get card draw effects on our creatures than protection.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to have a lot of difficulty protecting our creatures.
Yeah.
Going Volo.
Yeah, so I'm leaning rescue cat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a tap ability. So it's like we can return as many creatures as we need to hand.
In the first one.
Ooh. Okay, so what do you like better? The Thrashing Brontodon or Sun's Verdant Avatar? Or another creature enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. It would take up our dinosaur and our avatar slot, which there are a couple avatars that show up frequently on these Volo lists.
Let me take this. I lean towards that one because that's going to gain you a ton of life because you have a lot of big creatures with big toughness and double it for every creature it does.
Yeah. The only say but what if I'll throw at you is for avatar creature slot, the Wandering Archaic.
Wandering Archaic.
That's the avatar that lets you copy opponent spells unless they pay. If I can find it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the avatars right now.
I just bought a copy of it too. That's what's funny.
Whenever an opponent casts an instant search card on the page, they may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy it spell.
Yeah.
Choosing targets that copy. Explore the vast.
No one ever casts it for the sorcery side.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty dope for a deck that doesn't get to cast instants and sorceries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying that wouldn't be the way to go.
Yeah, the question is it better than... Is it and the Thrashing Brontodon, which is just some artifact or enchantment removal, is this combined with the Wandering Archaic better than gaining a lot of life anytime I play a creature, which is every turn?
What is the what's the name of the one that you enjoy?
Sun's Verdant Avatar. Fuck.
I haven't seen that one.
Because I probably got the name wrong. Verdant Sun's Avatar. See, I got it in the wrong order. VERDANT.
I tell you the truth, I actually lean towards the Wandering
The Wandering Archaic.
The Archaic and the Destroy Artifact Enchantment dinosaurs. Or whatever your other dinosaur was. No, the Thrashing
Brontodon. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, the only thing is that the Wandering Archaic is $5, and then the Verdant Sun's Avatar is $1, but I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna build this deck, and it's gonna cost what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, this will probably be like your most expensive deck you've ever built on stream.
Probably. Alright, what's my creature count at right now? 52. Oh my goodness, 8 slots left? Or 51, so 9 slots left. Oh my goodness. We might... Okay, so now we definitely need to focus on staple types, like Elemental. Do I splash $4 and just go Avenger of Zendikar because it would be bonkers to have 2 of those on the field?
It would be, especially in a deck that's probably going to have a lot of land.
Yeah.
And anytime you drop an additional land, the plants will get 2 plus power. I mean, it's game busting.
Yeah, that's too bonkers to not have 2 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't even want to really look at the other elementals. Just want to do Avenger of Zendikar. Okay. Got our dinosaur. Got my turtle. Got our elemental. We got our elf. What are we missing? Got our boar. Got our beast. Got our rhino. Oh, I didn't pick an elk yet. That's because the elks weren't very cool. You know what I don't? You know what we've gone this far with without picking?
What?
A bird or a bear.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which...
Maybe because we just considered those non-eligible.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to make this deck better, I would put some Birds of Paradise on it. But I kind of want to just put in the owl.
Like, I get it, Birds of Paradise is great, but Birds of Paradise and Commander isn't nearly as powerful as the other formats.
I just have never been able to justify the price of a Birds of Paradise.
No, because Birds of Paradise is great in Legacy. It's great in almost anything where you can put it. But in Commander, it's like there's a lot of cards that make 1 mana in your color. And again, the chances you're going to have it in your opening hand
are a lot slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? It's a D&D deck, Ian. I gotta put in the Owlbear.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't not.
Nothing wrong with that.
I can't not. I can't not put in my pet. My baby. My baby! Alright, we are way heavier on green, in case you didn't know. Which, I mean, it's green. Of course, we're way heavier on green. Alright, we have a dragon. Steel Hellkite. Oh, how about a Kraken?
Oh, yeah, I don't think you found a Kraken yet.
No, we haven't picked one. But if we end up not picking a fish, whale, or Kraken, then I think we need to go back and just pick the Reform.
That would be pretty damn good.
I mean, with so few creature slots left, it might just be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Ian's like, hurry up, get me off this stream.
No, I'm looking at all the creature types, trying to figure out which one we still even need.
I don't think we have a spirit yet.
Yeah, I'll start looking through there.
Huh. What? Why did we find no Kraken? Commander's green blue. There are blue Krakens. Ha! What? What is going on with Scryfall right now?
Hmm?
It keeps saying it's not finding Krakens.
Well, make sure you don't have like a non-search type selected.
I checked, but I'm gonna just do it again. Pipeline, Kraken. Not even gonna check off any of the color identity stuff. I just want it to show Kraken.
Don't have so many spirits.
There we go. There's the Krakens. Oh, the Nadir Kraken. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it and create a tentacle.
Pirate.
Yeah, Salamander Pirate. All right, you know, kind of underwhelmed by the Kraken.
No, I'm screaming to you.
Yeah. Only the Nadir Kraken, but it seems I think the reform might just be better. Might just be better to go with the reform.
Yeah, because I don't think we have a fish, whale, or kraken.
We don't have any of those things. We haven't even looked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at whales right now, but I don't think anything's gonna be better. You know, fuck it. We've already been on this stream for so long. My computer's going so slow. I'm just gonna say reform. It's taken up 3 hours of your time. Alright, 12 whales. Let's see. Are any of them actually really cool?
But we're almost done. We've almost done it, Dave. Yeah, my thing's going pretty slow too.
Phase dolphin. That would be an option for whale. Oh, never mind. It's an elemental whale. And we're not taking out Avenger of Zendikar. No. No. But what the phase dolphin does, whenever it attacks another attacking creature, can't be blocked this turn. So I have that effect on two creatures would be nice. But I'm keeping the Avenger of Zendikar. I'm treating myself with this deck because it's such a fun and silly idea. And if I don't like how it plays, all you have to do is simply take out some of the really weird, shitty creatures we picked and just throw in some actual, like, veggie cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, Reform wins over the Whales and Krakens. I mean, like, untap 7 lands, that's fun. From the Great Whale, that's cool. Colossal Whale has Island Walk, and whenever it attacks, you may exile target creature defending player controls until Colossal Whale leaves the battlefield. So that's actually, a little tempting.
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah, that's some good utility right there. I'm gonna put it on the baby board and move on. What creature type are you looking at right now?
Spirit. A lot of legendary spirits, but I mean, if you want just good thing to have 2 copies of, Latch Seeker. Latch Seeker is unblockable. It's a 3/1.
Yeah, fuck it. Throw it in there. That's currently our spirit until I find a utility spirit. Because I feel like that video I watched earlier had a spirit on it, but I'm not going to go look up the video while I'm doing my own stream, because that's, it's, I don't know. That doesn't feel like good practice. Dryads. Because I know there's a lot of good dryads, so that's what I'm going to look up right now. Oh, and Merfolk. We haven't picked a Merfolk.
Oh yeah, I don't think we have. I mean, a lot of them are gonna have a class, but I don't think we have a rogue either.
I don't think we have a rogue either. Alright, 35 dryads. Okay. Untapped target land. That's nice. Little. Battlefield. If you do, that creature's controller creates a token. And,
Okay. Oh no, we already have an avatar. Never mind.
Dryad of the Elysian Grove. No, that's too. Non-basic land walk. Ooh. Almost everybody plays non-basics.
Uh-huh.
Have that on 2 cards. That's cool. Bestow. Here's
Oh, you know what? It's probably Primordial Sage is probably the one that they.
Primordial Sage.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, you need your turn.
Oh, yeah. What is that creature type?
Spirit.
Oh, it's 6 mana though.
It is. I mean, there's also Seedborn Muse on tap all permanents you control during each other players on tap step.
How much is that though?
Oh, it's been reprinted a few times, but it's 5 drop. If that's what you need.
Kind of meant both, because I know Seedborn Muse is a popular card. Yeah, it's $15. It would be a great effect, but I don't feel like putting $15 on a single card for this deck yet. Yet. Oh, Corian Beast Collar, Dryad Warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the Beast Collar. When it dies, distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures where X is the number of counters that were on it. So that could be a good Dryad.
Spectral Hunt Caller, 5 drop 4/4, pay 6. Creatures you control get +1/+1 gain trampled on the turn.
Spirit.
The wolf spirit.
Ooh. Alright, I think I'm gonna go Yavimaya Dryad. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield, and tapped under target player's control. Because, I mean, that's just ramp for me, most likely. Because Corian Beast Collar sounds. I'm gonna put that on the maybe board though, because that might become my Dryad.
This could be a sick card to have too. A Thundering Nightmare.
Yeah, I know that card.
Soulbound, as long as it is paired with another creature. Each of those creatures have whenever an opponent casts a spell with a ++ counter on that creature.
How does Soulbound work? Do you pair it as it enters or as it casts?
When it enters, you may pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters the battlefield. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them.
Alright, Thundering Nightmare might take the spirit spot then.
And it's also a horse.
Huh, that's nice. Because what's my other spirit? Just an unblockable spirit, right?
Yeah, unless we went with the Primordial Sage, but I do think that that's a pretty solid card to go with.
Oh yeah, Primordial Sage. You know what? It's tough. That's tough. I think both of them are clearly better than the unblockable spirit. So we're gonna move this unblockable spirit off the board. Although they're all good, man. I think they're all very good. What am I talking about? All right, we got four slots left. All right, what was the spirit I had before? Spirit. Latch Seeker. Seeker can't be blocked. That's good. That's good effect, man. Move. Maybe board. Scroll down to the maybe board. Alright, what do you think? Card draw or Nightmare?
I think Nightmare can turn any card in your deck into a game ending. You have to deal with this. Card draw is good, and we have a few other effects over this.
Right, and you know what they say, value doesn't win the game.
No.
It helps you get there.
You want to win the game, but you need game breakers.
If all you do is just create value for days but have no way to fucking win the game, what are you doing? You know?
Exactly.
And I'm a fan of the Thundering Nightmare. I have that in a deck.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good card. Actually, I think I might have it in 2 decks. No, I think I took it out of one deck and put it in another deck. I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Kiora's followers tap to untap target permanent, so I could untap a land, and that's just a regular merfolk.
Yeah, those are usually pretty solid effects because you can use them to untap things when been stunned, or you can use it like you said. You need that one more man, especially of a particular color.
Ooh, hold on. I gotta look up this card to see what it's been eroded to. because it's on its card. It just says creature type cleric.
Uh-huh.
Phyrexian cleric. I don't have a Phyrexian either. And I don't have a cleric. I don't have a Phyrexian. So this could work. 6 mana. So it's expensive for a 3/3. But when it ETBs, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it, shuffle and put it on top. So tutor creature. Or put target non-creature permanent at the bottom of its owner's library. So can deal with a problem artifact or problem enchantment, or it can just go tutor me some creatures.
Yeah.
Although I'd have to do one of each effect, because I would tutor a creature, and then if I tutored again, I would shuffle my library from the first thing I tutored.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So less cool, but still don't have a cleric, don't have a Phyrexian, so that's definitely something to consider.
For sure. And now I'm looking through lizards. Wow, root wall type creatures.
A lot of people on a budget turn this into a mutate deck. There's a lot of mutate cards coming up on this budget list.
Do we already have a lizard card?
I don't think so.
Alright, Shephet Monitor. It's a 6/5 for 6. Is cycling for 3 and a green. And when you cycle it, you search your library for a basic land card or desert, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Spell it.
Shefet.
S-H what?
Shefet. Shephet?
Hmm. Hi, Crystal.
Finally drop in.
She did. Finally bugged her enough to get her to drop in.
Yeah, it's the best looking lizard from what I can see. Shefet. Yep.
Yeah, and it's really only best for its cycle ability.
Yeah, it's really what you use it for.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always put, like, one of the laws in. Saddleback Largic. There's battlefield support 2, so you put a plus and counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures.
Crystal, I'm now putting a creature on screen that I put into this deck thinking about you. This said, this will make Crystal happy. Actually, there's a second card that we need to show you, too. There's two. No, we don't have a frog yet. We don't have a frog yet. We don't have a lizard. We don't have a frog. Because we went with some real obscure ones that I could see us if we decided to like fine tune this. Maybe not fine tune, but if you and I went over to this deck list again, we'd probably cut. But yeah, put in some beavles and some ferrets for you, Crystal. And then I put in the brushwag.
Okay. Objectively, the best card out of lizards is the Bloodsport Thinnax. Devour 1. Each other creature you control enters battlefield with additional plus and counter equal to the number of plus and counters on him. So when he comes into play, you sack creatures to him to put plus and counters on him, and then he makes every other creature you play after that bigger. Or you'd be looking at like the Galloping Lizrog. The 3/3 trampler for 5. When he enters the battlefield, you may remove any number of +1/+1 counters from among other creatures you control. If you do, put twice that many +1/+1 counters on the Galloping Lizrog. He's a frog wizard.
Galloping. Ah, this guy. I had you guys fight one of these when I ran your birthday one-shot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was a Lizfrog, wasn't it?
It is the commander is Simic, blue-green. I'd say for the lizard, that first one, Bloodspore.
Yeah, Bloodsport and Rex.
Yeah, that one's just good. Okay, we haven't picked a wolf. A woof, 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 woof. Oh my god, we are so heavily green. I want you to guess the percentage split.
It's gotta be like 70 plus green.
71.
Yeah, I was right there.
A lot of green pips, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, well, fuck them.
Oh, I realize this is the one deck you absolutely cannot run a Changeling in.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely not. You cannot run a changeling in. No. You can run a shapeshifter as long as it's not a changeling.
That's what I'm looking at right now, the shapeshifters.
There are shapeshifters people use in this deck because they just enter the battlefield and become a copy of something that's already on the battlefield, so you don't even have to worry. All right, I never put a mirror into the deck yet. Excuse me. Oh, we should probably put a Sphinx.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was looking for Sphinxes earlier.
Yeah. Risen Reef is so cool. I love Risen Reef. It makes me think of the coral golem I painted. Oh, we also don't have a fucking Hydra yet. Okay, we might have to cut some of these really shitty ones. Oh, also, Crystal, because you weren't there at the beginning, you missed what also we're doing with this deck. Not only are we making sure that every creature type is unique, Ian thought of the idea, since Volo's Guide to Monsters is a book that is a guide to monsters, obviously. So it's all monsters. And this is our spell book, that our spell book should be nothing but creatures. So we're doing nothing but lands and creatures. Is this gonna be so... This deck's not gonna work, like, at all against, like, a player like Mike. But it could be fun.
It could be. And that's the important thing.
I think I should probably pick up Burnished Heart for the Elk slot. Just because we get to go get land.
Yeah, that's probably just straight up best one.
Yeah. We never picked a fungus. But that's okay. Not every creature with type was going to be represented. They still had to be cool.
Nope. Bekla didn't mastermind. No, never mind. He's a wizard.
You're a wizard, Eddie.
Yeah,
Of course, she
Bekla
stepped
didn't-
away right when I addressed her. So for this deck, because it's Volo's Guide to Monsters, which is a book about monsters, Ian came up with the idea that we should just build this deck like the Guide to Monsters. It's nothing but creatures. So as you can see from our deck list here, it is 1 commander and 57 creatures so far. And they are all unique. They do not share creature types. I'm sorry, 58 creatures. I just refreshed. We're leaning hard into the bet. There's no way.
Kavu Predator. 2/2 trample whenever an opponent gains life. Put that many +1/+1 counters on Kavu Predator.
What creature type is it?
Kavu.
Of course, Kabu. How did I not know? The hell? How do you spell Kabu?
Kavu.
Oh, Kavu. V. I'm gonna put that on the maybe board, and then I'm also gonna buy it. And it's gonna be one of those things. It's like, oh, what deck are you pulling out, Mike? Oh, you're playing Odric. Okay, your deck that likes to get you up to 100 life.
Yeah, I'm playing Lucia.
Here's my fucking
Same.
trampling Kavu with 100 with fucking 50 +1/+1 counters on it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah, it sounds good.
he'll get rid of it pretty easily. We have no protection.
Yeah, that was always going to be a downside to this deck.
Yeah, we'll see how much it angers me when I'm playing, but we'll see.
Oh, I bet we don't have a crab.
We don't have a crab yet. We don't have crabs. Crab people, crab people, crab people. The question is there even going to be a crab that's worth it?
Hmm?
The question is going to be, is there even going to be a crab that's worth it?
That's what I'm looking to do right now. A lot of them have a milling aspect to them.
Huh, purple crystal crab. Hi, Crystal. Whenever it dies, draw a card. It's kind of pretty.
Doesn't work in our deck, but there's a crab turtle crocodile.
Yeah, I know that guy.
The Scoodle Gator.
There's the fish crab.
Yeah, the Shamble Shark or the Sharkdo Crab.
Yeah. No, we don't have a fox. Or a kitsune.
What's the fox say?
Yeah, the only crab of these I'd want is the purple crystal crab because it's pretty, and when it dies, draw a card. Although there is a yeah, that's a yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth a deck slot, spot.
Draw a card.
But actually,
Ooh.
here's the thing: Purple Crystal is probably more worthy of a deck slot than some other cards that we have in this deck right now. To be honest, like if Ron is with
Probably.
ourselves here, like Bushwag, like it's such a bad card, unobjectively just bad.
Fun though. You have 2 Bushwags.
2 almighty Bushwags is a dream come true, baby.
Okay, so looking at the foxes, there's 2 that are pretty good utility. There's the Filigree Familiar, which when it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, so that'd be 4 life for us. And there's for 3 mana, a 2/2. And when it dies, draw a card. So,
Yeah, that card's in Traxxas.
And then Farfinder is a 1/1 Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. So go get 2 lands. And then you have a 1/1 Vigilant creature.
What creature type was that? Fox?
Fox.
Basic land card. I think I wish I'd been like, if I was smart, I would have like had a notebook and I would have been like tallying. All right, how many card draw effects do we have? How many ramp effects do we have? Rampish effects do we have? Because then I know what we need right now. But I think the Filigree Familiar is probably a little better. Because I don't think you can ever have enough card advantage effects.
Yeah, and then the 4 life along with it, just added bonus.
Yeah.
And you get some blocks out of it.
Yep. Alright, we got our Fox. Now technically if I go with 40 lands, we're at our slot. But and our CMC right now is pretty high. 3.7.
I mean, it's Commander.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any 1 and 2 drops. He's like 3s and 4s are bread and butter in Commander.
Yeah.
Even up to 5s in certain decks. But I think that will be me for the night now that we have reached a number. At this point, it's tweaking. So.
Yeah. I might dig around for a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah, do you think? But I think I'm going to call it night because I do have to get to bed in a little bit here.
Okay. Thank you for your help, Mr. Ian. Plug your Twitch.
Oh yeah, everyone should definitely follow the BaronVonGames. It's I don't stream a ton, but I might try to do that more often. But I also have stuff going on in my life, which probably means I'm not going to be able to do it as often.
Who's about to have a baby?
Yeah, about to have a baby, so I'll be home for a few weeks, but I'll probably be busy, trying to raise a child. So, but yeah, I will definitely do what I can to try to stream when I can, and I'll definitely be on with Dave sometimes. So.
Yep, I like to show up there. And Crystal, if you want to join on Discord, you can join while I'm still streaming if you want, while I finish up.
Yeah, he's got a tweak, but I'm very excited for this deck because I've thought about building a creature-only deck for a long time and never quite found a deck to do it, and they've found the deck to do it, and I think it's going to be awesome.
It's definitely going to be silly.
Of course, and we love silly.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Can we build the deck? Yes, we can. Should we? I don't know.
Probably not, but whatever. All right.
Well,
Thanks
everybody
again.
have a good night.
Yep.
We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, Ian.
Bye.
Welcome, Crystal.
Hi, Dave.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. How long have you guys been doing your deck building thing in there?
3 hours.
Yeeps.
I know. This one went long because this one was a lot. This one was very involved. Very involved. And we have a lot of really random fucking creature types that will probably get cut. But the Beebles will be there. Don't worry. Not going to lose the Beebles.
Now, why'd you guys go with the bouncing Beebles? Or, I'm sorry, yeah, the bouncing Beebles versus the bubbling Beebles.
Because I feel like artifacts are more prevalent. Just equipments, treasures, foods,
True.
mana rocks. I just feel like it's more likely someone's going to have an artifact than an enchantment. So that's why I went with the bouncing instead of the bubbling.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then there's so many random things. Like, did you know that there's exactly one walrus creature type? It's an artifact creature, bronze walrus. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2, and then tap it to add mana of any color.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a 3-drop mana rock that's also a blocker. We have a cockatrice.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, fleet feather cockatrice. Flash, flying, death touch, and then you can make it monstrous.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, why not? We have an otter. We have an oyster. Did you know that there's oyster? Creature type oyster?
I did not.
Well, we have a giant oyster.
I thought Alexander Clamilton was the one and only.
Bro, I want to make an Alexander Clamilton deck. I picked a Wolverine that is unquestionably a bad card, but, I mean, I got to represent the Michigan Wolverines, right?
True. Is a must.
Then Ian showed me something that's called a Suricar. So we have a creature Suricar in our deck.
The hell is a Suricar?
I don't know, but it's ugly. And this guy, when Suricar Berserkers enters the battlefield, you may return target tapped creature to its owner's hand. So you could bounce something that just attacked or something. It's probably something that's going to get cut. But don't tell Ian. But I just remembered looking at that thing, that one of my favorite D&D creatures. I wonder what colors it is, or what creature type it is in Magic the Gathering.
What color is the beholder?
Frogs. No, neither of the beholders are mono blue or green. I looked them up before.
Sad.
To see if I could have a beholder in this deck. I can't.
What about the gelatinous cube?
Black.
Oh.
Yeah. So
There's a green ooze creature, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, there is a green ooze. We went with the acidic ooze, or the acidic slime for our ooze. It's death touch, and then when it enters the battlefield, you can destroy an artifact, enchantment, or land.
Gercha.
We have a starfish.
Darmy.
We have a starfish and a sponge and a little bug that's called a spike.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little guy called a spike weaver enters the battlefield with counters on it, and then I can remove counters to prevent damage. We have a sheep. Oh, damn it. Land type gate. Because we have one card that cares about gates, so I kind of want to see how many gates go into this deck. All right.
In this version of Earth Defense Force that I've been playing, they have actual walking aliens, and they are giant frog creatures.
Hell yeah. All right, Manor Gate. Baldur's Gate, just cause.
Ooh, I just blew my face up.
Playing EDF over there.
Yeah.
EDF.
Yeah, I'm currently fighting these giant frog creatures, and they're freaking hard, man. They actively have intelligence, so they hunt you down. And they got weapons that can shoot you from across the map.
Well, that's not very nice. Tell them to stop doing that. Said, hey, stop it now.
I can't beat these frog creatures when I have anything higher than normal mode.
That tough, huh?
Yeah, they're brutal. Oh, and did I mention that they regenerate?
You did not.
Yeah. That's fun. Dude, I think your corpse is on my arm, my weapon. Get off of it.
I'm trying my best.
There was another creature I was going to ask if you had in your list, and I couldn't remember what I wanted to ask you about. I'm having really bad CRS syndrome today.
Sounds
do you have any
fun.
Leviathans?
I don't have a Leviathan yet.
Should have a Leviathan.
I should have a Leviathan.
The reason I thought that is AC.
Gross.
Landfall card draw.
Yeah, but fuck that card.
Oh. That'd be so mean to AC. Do you have a Dargon?
Yes. Steel Hellkite.
But isn't a Hellkite different than a dragon?
No, it's an artifact creature dragon.
Oops, I fell off the building I was trying to hide on.
Alright, there are 20 Leviathans.
There's what left?
20 Leviathans.
A lot.
Huh. Why would I ever want to play this card? Sky Swallower. When Sky Swallower comes into play, target opponent gains control of all other permanents you control.
That sounds obnoxious.
That sounds dumb. Why would you give all of your permanents to somebody else?
Good question.
Hey, you've got better wings too.
Oh my goodness, the Trench Gorger. Trample. When Trench Gorger enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of land cards, exile them, then shuffle your library. If you do, Trench Gorger's power and toughness are become equal to the number of cards exiled this way. Just exile all your lands to make him huge.
Where did this fucking frog go? Frog's smarter than me.
Do 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 do.
Ooh. Oh, never mind. It wouldn't. I don't think there is any in green blue. I was gonna say, what about no?
Actually, there is a null in green, and we have it in the deck.
Nice.
I think for Leviathan, if I were to pick one, it would be Kiora's Dambreaker. When it enters the battlefield, proliferate. We ended up having quite a lot of things that give out counters, so decent amount of things. So that might be a good card to put in. Yeah, and the best part about putting that card in is that it shifted our mana distribution from 70% green to 69% green.
Now you gotta leave it like that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Deck's done.
Everything else is land.
Everything else is land. Going with 38 lands. Oh, didn't mean to do that.
I'm still in their firing range.
I think there's like one card that cares about snow lands, snow permanents in the deck. So I'm using snow basics.
Nice.
All right.
Got chomped by a freaking ant, man.
Whew. Let's see. What's the deck cost before I put in all the lands? So minus 28, just about. It's $49
Oh, not bad.
before lands. All right, well, it's tweaking around, but I'm done streaming. Thank you, everybody that joined me. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Ian.
Welcome.
Follow me on Twitter at OffTheHusk. Except for you, Crystal, because you don't use Twitter. Oh, that's not true. You followed me on something. But follow me. I'm desperate. I need it. I need attention. Love me. All right, but as always, in the meantime and in between time, keep popping. End stream. End it. End it now.